Alright, so I believe this is going to be our epilogue now. I think this is a Chapter 7 epilogue. Pretty good week, right? I would say. And I'm happy with the progress that we're making in the playthroughs that we're doing. But I find myself at a point where I need your feedback, okay? And, feedback is key. And I got some good feedback overnight, and we're going to talk about it this morning. So, basically, what I've noticed is a couple of things, all right? Number one, that whenever I seem to be playing a multiplayer game, something's going on, and I was wondering what it was, because, let me put it this way. Whenever I play a multiplayer game now, there seems to be an element where I get more views, but they're all kind of trolls. Meaning, people are showing up, and the views spike, but then everyone is kind of like the regulars seem to not really be around talking that much, or seem to be kind of upset. And I wanted feedback on that, so I asked about it last night, and I got a lot of feedback, and I'm happy. Thank you to those overnight who left comments, who emailed me. I actually got some really constructive feedback that I'd like to share with all of you this morning regarding these multiplayer streams, notably the late night multiplayer streams, because I haven't really been doing multiplayer during day streams, and this may be a key critical factor that we will discuss today of why things have shifted a little bit. Tips, where are they? In fact, hold on a second, I forgot. We didn't hit $30 in tips yet, so we got to turn it. Here we go. We didn't hit $30 in tips yet. So, until we hit $30 in tips, this is the stream, guys. Sorry. This is just how it's got to be, okay? Okay? So, I want to talk about that, because here's the thing, all right? Moving forward, we're going to have tons of new games. This is actually like the beginning of a 2-week span where there's 4 new releases. Then when November hits, I have to pick and choose, like, do I want to play Like a Dragon Gaiden? Do I want to start with Lords of the Fallen? Do I want to play Modern Warfare 3 this year, or do I want to skip the Call of Duty installment? I'm going to have important decisions to make. And I want to base them off of your feedback and what you want. And it's hard to judge that, because there's a lot of you out there, and a lot of you have differing opinions. Some of you like one thing, some of you like another. Excuse me. Man, my throat. I got a frog in my throat. And so, rather than ask and try to listen to all of your varying opinions, I try to base it off of viewership. I try to base it off of engagement. I try to base it off of who seems to be enjoying the streams, and also off of support levels. There's various factors that must be weighed and balanced when I figure out what's working, what's not, what should I play more of, what should I play less of, when should I play a particular game, because I think that's actually a big factor, is the when, as opposed to just what. And we're going to talk about that on the show today, because I think that's a key factor in what's going on with these late night streams. So, anyway, we're going to have a segment here discussing what's been going on with late night streams, particularly multiplayer streams, my feelings towards them, your feelings towards them, because now I have your feedback, and we need to talk a little bit about what to do with this moving forward, all right? But thanks, again, feedback is key, and you guys directly responding overnight and telling me what you think is very important, and I appreciate all of that, okay? So
already I'm so, you know what I mean? Like, my nights are crazy these days. They're just so insanely busy.
In these next 2 weeks, I just opened the window. Here comes the fucking guy again. Isn't that great? In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to have to buy a ton of games that normally I would not be buying in that short of a period of time. In addition, I told you guys about this yesterday. Sadly, this month, my YouTube payment, which is my one big payment I get a month for everything, lands on a weekend. That means that payment gets delayed at least 2 to 3 days, if not longer. And I got bills that are coming due just a day or two after when it comes in. Yes, I did make several $100s in tips recently. I love this guy. Didn't you just make hundreds of dollars recently? Yes, and that went to bills. As I said, this is the worst financial position I've ever been in my entire life. I need as much support as possible right now in the short term to get through this next week, or else I'm screwed, okay? It sucks, but that's just reality. It's just a bad month because I have to pay a lot for games on top of the fact that my monthly payment is delayed. So, tipping would be an absolutely great way for you to support the streams, because I get tips right away, and I could put tips towards game cost and these other bills until I get paid by YouTube. So for the next 2 weeks, I would 100% appreciate if those of you who are already contributing could consider tipping. I'm not asking for anything above and beyond. I'm not asking for anyone to go crazy. I'm not sitting here doing a special fundraiser with a special tips goal to raise. That's not the point. What is the tips goal for? To help me out right now, because I'm really, really in a bad financial position right now, and I don't even know how I'm going to make it until I get paid by Twitch later this month. So that's what it's for, just to help out, man. The point I'm saying is, hey, if you were already going to contribute, you like the content, and you have the option to choose how to contribute, if you could tip me, that would actually be doing me a favor for the next couple of weeks. And then after that, it's not a concern. I don't have to talk about it anymore. Because in truth, I haven't really talked about something like that in months and months. But of course, if you listen to the wrong people on the internet who say, oh, he's always begging and he's always asking for this and that, which is bullshit. They just fucking over-exaggerate to make shit up. You would know that I haven't actually done something like this or said something specific like this in many months. I've actually said, hey, do whatever you want. It's all good. But it's just a bad situation right now in the next 2 weeks that I got to get through, and then we're back to normal, okay? So, please consider contributing via tips if you can, but everything is appreciated, and that is all I'm going to say. Done. I'm not going to keep bringing this up or anything, all right? So thank you for that. All right. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Whoa. To continue at the pace that we're playing. I guess I gotta close the window again. This is ridiculous. As soon as he goes away, I open the window, then he comes right back. You know what's funny about it? And I swear this is true. You know how I don't always have Thursdays as my day off. I used to have Wednesdays as my day off. You remember? And then I changed it. So when Wednesday's my day off, I swear to God, they come later. Because my wife and I will be at home on our day off relaxing, and we'll be having dinner. And all of a sudden, they'll be out there doing stuff in the yard at like 4 or 5 p.m. And we're like, don't they come at like 11, 12 a.m., in the morning? Why are they out there now? It's as if they watch my streams and they time it perfectly. I don't know. Stupid fucking trolls, man. These night streams that have been going on recently, okay? So here's the deal. I've noticed a pattern. And directly based on your feedback, all right, I'm now understanding this pattern more. And I want to thank everyone for the feedback they gave me. Allow me to explain, okay? So, I've noticed over the last couple of weeks that my late night streams, which start at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, particularly when the late night stream is a game that I have to put a lot of attention into. So if I'm playing competitive Street Fighter, or if I'm playing Call of Duty, and I have to be super hyper focused on the match to survive and get kill streaks and everything, I can't just be sitting here and watching the chat and talking with you guys and having fun interaction. Instead, it's about this. It's about, oh my God, we gotta focus, right? This is how I play the game. In those situations that have been happening, I've noticed two distinct things that are going on, okay? Distinct thing number one is that viewership actually spikes, but it spikes for the wrong reasons, okay? If viewership spiked because people were coming onto the stream because they were excited, oh my God, Phil's doing a competitive multiplayer game and we like him, seeing him play those and whatever, that's one thing. But what I'm noticing is it's not that. Sadly, it is a negative element as opposed to a positive element. What does that mean? Well, if you see me playing a competitive game, there's a chance that I likely will be losing. And if I lose and get upset, people like to see me rage. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with seeing me rage, okay? That's fine. If you enjoy it, good. Come to the streams. But sadly, going hand in hand with that attention spike that I get when I play those games on late night streams comes a lot of annoyance and trolling in the chat. Essentially what people have been telling me, all right, is sadly, they come to the chat, they want to see me play this game, they want to see me play Street Fighter, they want to see me try the Call of Duty beta. And what happens is there's 20 new accounts in the chat they've never seen before, right? They've all been created within the last week, so funny how that's just a coincidence. And they're all just sitting there being toxic jerks, right? They're all just sitting there saying, you see, Phil sucks at this and that, haha. Like I'll be playing Street Fighter, and I'll be playing a match, and a person will literally be doing just basic stuff, and I can't react. Like, man, the game is laggy. I just can't do a move. And then they'll say, no, Phil just sucks. See, that's an amazing player. And they're spanking Phil, and he just can't take it. And, Who wants to see that? It's like a 4-year-old on a schoolyard teasing someone in the corner, right? It's like no one wants to fucking put up with that shit, especially anyone who's an actual positive viewer. No one wants to see or hear that nonsense, right? And then there's people that'll come and they'll start insulting other people. They'll start trying to bring up drama. Like, for example, let's say I'll notice someone's being toxic, so I'll ban them, and then I'll go back to playing, and then all of a sudden, oh, why did he get banned? Who banned him? What's going on? Banning. Oh, it's too censored here. Yeah, and this is what the whole chat becomes, all right? Now, truthfully, it's hard for me to recognize this and focus on it, because I'm playing the game. When I'm playing the game, that's my focus. I'm playing a fucking video game, you idiot. Right? So, here's the thing. I acknowledge what you're saying, I agree with you, and I apologize. I have to come out and say, you're right. This is absolutely happening on these late night multiplayer streams. This is a concerted effort from people who don't like me to try to come by and purposefully derail my streams. They've noticed that on those late night streams, unlike, let's say, a stream of Starfield, right? Because if I'm playing Starfield and I'm just chilling and relaxing, and it's a narrative-based game, I have tons of opportunity to look at the chat and talk with you guys and have fun and take care of that nonsense. I mean, people tried doing that during my Chrono Trigger playthrough, and they got smacked the fuck off the stream and never came back. And the same thing, I'm playing Starfield, I can pay attention, and I can take care of that shit, right? But I can't pay attention to it all when I'm playing multiplayer games, all right? Now, you might say, well, it sounds like the issue is moderation, okay? Well, I agree with you again, because here's the truth. Street Fighter 6, if you remember, I was playing as daytime streams for the longest time over the summer. Did we have that problem during the summertime? Nope. You want to know why we didn't have that problem? Because typically on the daytime streams, there's more moderation. You'll see 1 or 2 mods will swing by. They'll help out for an hour or 2 at a time. They'll shut that nonsense down. And so the daytime streams are usually under control. It's not a big deal. It's usually these night streams where it becomes an issue, correct? Now, you might say, well, Phil, why don't you just have more moderators? What's going on with that? Why do you think people have stabbed you in the back? Because I'm an easy target. Because I'm an easy target with really no way to retaliate, being that I'm a public persona. And so many people have treated me so shittily in my life. And, well, let's talk. Let's be transparent about it, all right? I used to have way more moderators. I did. I used to have a team of around 15 to 20 moderators at one point. And at that point, everyone complained there were too many mods, and it was over moderation, and people didn't like it. They actually got upset. There was too much moderation. So at one point, I actually advised everyone, let's cut back on moderation. Let's make the chats a little bit more free, a little bit more open. Let's give people more of an opportunity to talk more. And if people are razzing me and doing memeing, it's fine. Let me be the ultimate person to determine what's allowed and what's not. Okay? And during this time period, and this is years ago too, by the way. This is like maybe 2 years ago, roughly 2-3 years ago, when I decided to be more lenient with moderation. Essentially what happened is some moderators fell out of interest of being moderators. And we had a few people who left. They said, I'm just too busy. I'm not going to do it anymore. A lot of moderators stopped coming to streams more regularly because they realized they weren't really needed as much. So since it wasn't as big of a concern, right, they stopped really caring as much. And let's be honest, take a look. Really right now, take a look at the chat. Is it bad? No, it's fine, right? Most of my streams are good. It's just these trolls have definitely focused in on the late night multiplayer sessions as the ones that they've realized they can try to ruin. Okay? They know that now. Like, they have hyper focused on those streams. Okay? Now, here's the other half of why this is a bad thing. If you're coming to a stream to watch me play a multiplayer game, right? And you want to see if I'm going to do well or not, and even if I don't do well, that's fine, as long as there's some moral support or whatever. But all you're seeing in the chat is toxic shit. Phil sucks ass. And this fucking person's doing this and that, and this one's a troll, that one's a troll, this is a troll. And you're like, who the hell wants to stick around for that? And so some of the feedback I received in the last 24 hours, when I asked you guys, I said this last night. I said, I've noticed in this last week, the Modern Warfare 3 beta stream and the Street Fighter stream I did last night with Lily, pretty much we had high viewership, but lots of trolling and incredibly low support. Like, for a stream that has 500 viewers on a late stream, how did I make $10 all night? And this has happened twice this week. And you know what? I got really good feedback. And here's the feedback I got. And I got this feedback from multiple regulars. We don't want to come to your late night multiplayer streams anymore. We've tried it. And at first it was fun. But what's happened is the trolls are targeting them now. And when we go there, we can't have fun. It's just a bunch of shitty assholes coming and crapping all over everything. And it's not a positive, fun environment to be in. Instead, you try to play the game and sometimes you fail and you get upset. And then when you go back to the chat, all you see is trolling and it pisses you off and it just makes it a toxic environment and we don't want to be there. So, yeah, that's the feedback I'm getting is the regulars are actually telling me we don't want to come to your late night multiplayer streams anymore. We used to like them, but now there's not enough moderation, so the trolls are not under control. And because the trolls aren't under control, they derail the stream when you're playing. It just exacerbates the situation, makes it worse. So you don't have a good time, we don't have a good time, and therefore we're not going to be there to support it. And that's what's going on. That's exactly the feedback I received. And I was shocked by a few people who actually sent me that message because I was like, I didn't think of it that way. And when they said that, okay, I guess that does make sense. All right. Oh my God, he's drinking gin. The question is, what do we do to remedy the situation? And by the way, I want to say this. I take responsibility. I do. I'm the person who runs this stream. No one else does. I'm the one who ultimately turns on this stream, determines what games are played on each stream. I run the streams, okay? I should have been listening to your feedback more attentively, and I should have asked this question earlier, and I didn't. You know? To my philosophy was, just ignore the trolls. Just ignore the trolls. Just ignore the trolls. Well, you may have noticed now maybe some of you are actually starting to understand what I've been saying over the years. You can't just ignore the trolls. Because even as much as you try to pretend they're not there, they can still be intrusive. To life, to stream, to whatever it is, they can still be intrusive. As much as you do, they don't exist to me. They don't matter. They still can find a way to negatively affect stuff. And this is a case in point. I didn't want to really acknowledge them or pay attention to them or talk about them. These streams I've just let roll. And now what's happened is increasingly less moderation, more trolls. Regulars don't even want to attend them anymore. And now I get no support on them. Even though I'm having a good time. That Modern Warfare 3 stream the other night, I had a blast. That felt like a blast from the past. I was playing on classic maps from a game from like 14 years ago. And I remember these maps. And now they're very different. They've tweaked them. But still, it felt like a throwback for me. And I had a crazy kill streak. I got Juggernaut, and I was running through the map squishing people. It was fun as shit. And then to find out, wow, trolls just invaded, and people weren't enjoying it in the chat, and that's why I had no support that night. That's telling. You know what I'm saying? So, there's basically a few ways to go about this. Okay? And I guess the question is, what's the best option? Because I want to talk with my audience about this before I make any decisions. Okay? Really? So, here's a few things that can be done, right? Number one, I can try to get more moderators, all right? Now, that's a tough one. Why? Because it's hard to trust people these days. It is. A lot of these people literally sit in chat and pretend to be positive elements just to find out later on they're catfishing. That happened twice to me so far, all right, over the years, where there's someone who sits in chat for a whole freaking year on an account and pretends to be a person that they're really not. They've invented an entire persona up. They made it up. It's completely fabricated. And so they sit here and they pretend to be a positive element, and then they'll say, hey, I offer my services. I'd like to help you out as a moderator. All right, we'll give you a chance. So we give them a chance as a moderator, right? And they seem to be doing a good job, right? And the next thing you know, 6 to 8 months into them being a moderator, all of a sudden one day, they're doing awful things. They're banning a ton of people in the chat for no good reason. They're saying awful things, you know. Oh my God, I leaked secret moderator conversations, which is hilarious. All they do is they'll leak like a chat between my moderators about nothing, about like daily life, about, you know, how to moderate the chat. It's basic stuff, nothing controversial, absolutely nothing secret behind the scenes. Oh, look, I leaked the secret discussion server. What are you talking about? There's nothing on there of any consequence to anyone. None of it is important. I'm going to say it one final time. It's not my account. The evidence you've seen isn't evidence. You're just an idiot. It doesn't matter how much evidence is presented. It's all bullshit because it's not my fucking account. Yeah, you people have been talking about this since like fucking January. And it's fucking June. Get a fucking life. We're not sitting there all day discussing clandestine plans about my streams and content. I don't talk about my deep personal life and stuff on there. What are you talking about? They're just idiots. You see what I'm saying? Like, they fabricate as much as they can to make it act like there's drama. There's no drama. They make up drama, you see? But just think about that. Someone who would sit around for a year on a stream pretending to be someone else, actively chatting, acting positive, just to find out it's someone else. This has happened with Marl. This has happened with Plumgirl. This has actually happened with 2 other accounts as well, although they weren't really pretending to be someone else. They were just pretending to be nice. What was it? Anonymous? And then there was another one too, and I actually forgot their fucking name. That's how much I really care about them, right? I don't really think about these people. So this has happened tons of times over the years, right? And so, when you think about this, and you're like, so, if people are willing to go that far to fake it, you know what I'm saying? Who do you trust? I don't know. Right now, I can tell you I trust every moderator I have. I do, because I only have a few left. There's only like maybe 6, 7 moderators that I have, and they don't come by full time at all. Every once in a while, they'll swing by and they'll help moderate. And I like that because there's no pressure. It's not like I'm being bossy and telling them what to do. They can come by whenever they want. If there's a game they're liking or whatever, they can come moderate. But what I've noticed is that they're not coming by to the late night streams, and they're definitely not coming by to the late night multiplayer streams. Now, all I can do is ask nicely. Hey guys, can you come by and moderate a little more? I can't force anyone to do anything. They're not paid employees, right? So what I can do is I can appeal and say to people, hey, would you like to be moderators? But how do you trust someone? When I've had so many people who have pretended to be nice, pretended to be supportive, and then after the fact you find out after a fucking year that they're faking, that it's a whole catfish situation. For what? Because let's be honest here. Out of all that stuff that's ever happened, what are it, 4 times now? How much has actually ever happened? Nothing. Nothing ever comes of it. It's just a waste of everyone's time. Nothing super clandestine secret has ever been revealed. No giant bombshells were ever dropped. They're just fucking losers. They actually sit around for a year, wasting a year of their life doing this. Wow, really, it's been really productive and much has come out of it, right? Like nothing ever happened. But it's frustrating because you don't know who you can trust, right? Solution number 1 to the problem would be try to find more trustworthy moderators, try to mod them, and see if they're going to join me, right? Will they actually come and support and be real people to moderate, or are they going to be some secret troll who's actually just here to fuck around and then they're not going to help at all, right? I don't know, it's hard. It's hard to figure out who do you trust. I have nothing whatsoever control over or to do with. That's the worst feeling.